changing the conversation from avoiding predatory journals to finding and evaluating the right journal. To start our conversation, I want to define two important terms so we're all on the same page. You're probably familiar with them. The first is open access, which can be thought of as a philosophy on the dissemination of knowledge and a business model for publishing companies. I know this is a simplistic definition for a complex issue, but we're going to be focusing on the business model aspect. The second term is predatory journal. A predatory journal exploits the open access business model for financial gain, undermining the scientific community and negatively impacting research dissemination, researchers, and even readers. In today's environment, we have two things happening at the same time. First, there is a lot of pressure in academia to publish, to have that work cited, to find research collaborators, to be funded, and for our faculty to prove their value or be let go. Open access publishing allows researchers to disseminate the results of their work to a larger audience, hopefully promoting their research to potential collaborators, funders, and other authors who might cite their work. Second, the conversation around the benefits of open access publishing is continuing to spread, and there are now more open access options than ever. According to the Directory of Open Access Journal, there are over 12,000 open access journals. There is a lot of conversations, especially in European countries, to encourage publishers toward the open access model, especially for publicly funded research. And if you want to know more about that conversation, look up Plan S. But in this environment, there is also the opportunity for predatory journals to thrive. And right now, there is a lot of buzz around predatory journals. If you do a quick search for predatory journal or predatory publisher in the Library Literature and Information Science full-text database, you'll find 70 articles written on the subject. Do a search in Google Scholar and you'll find 615 results. You'll find titles such as Publisher Package in Open Access Journals. Are any of them predatory? Predatory journals and the breakdown of research cultures. Predatory publishing, how not to fall prey. And funders like the NIH are also participating in the conversation. This is their notice from November 2017, recommending researchers to publish in credible open access journals and warning researchers to stay clear of predatory publishers by advising the authors to use Think, Check, Submit as a resource to determine if a journal is credible. And they're not just focused on researchers, but they're also encouraging publishers to follow industry best practices. And librarians needed to respond to this issue as well. We created lists of predatory journals, such as Beale's List. We've created lists of legitimate journals. PowerPoints have been made, and cautionary tales have been told at department and staff meetings. Industry has also responded by creating the Think, Check, Submit website to help authors identify legitimate journals and avoid predatory ones. However, all of this talk of predatory journals and how to avoid them doesn't really answer the question, which journal should I publish in? The information our authors are really looking for is not where shouldn't I publish, but where should I publish? They need to know which journal is going to meet their publishing needs. So authors who are aware of the benefits of open access, yet who don't yet have the skills to properly evaluate journals, are falling victim to predatory journals. Publishing is not an easy feat. It takes a lot of time and commitment. So when a researcher gets a solicitation to publish in a journal, or they find a journal that promises a fast turnaround time, this can be very alluring. And we can imagine what their internal conversations might look like. They receive an email inviting them to submit their work to a journal. Invite looks great on my CV. They find a journal that promises a fast publishing time. My annual review's coming up and I haven't published yet this year. Congratulations on your 5th work anniversary. I need to get published before I get fired. And now that we've gotten to the heart of what our authors' information need really is and what they might be thinking about, it is time for us to change the conversation from avoiding predatory journals to finding the right journal. The conversation I wanted to be having with my researchers focuses on what are their goals for publishing, what criteria will help them meet those goals, and where do they find journals they want to submit to. Knowing these things first helps clarify which journals are going to be right for their manuscript. Once they've created a list of journals they want to consider, they can evaluate each one to determine if it's the right fit for them. If researchers know how to conduct a thorough evaluation of a journal, in my opinion, they will, by the nature of the evaluation, avoid predatory journals. So we began to change the conversation. We put away our presentation on predatory journals and created a workshop called From Idea to Submission that focuses on how to find and evaluate the right journal. Participants were taught where to look for journals, how to determine their goals and criteria for publishing, how to compare their article to the aim and scope of a journal, and how to make a determination on whether or not the journal was the right fit for them. As participants answered the questions on the worksheet, they built a list of criteria for selecting the right journal for their article, and the workshop was successful. However, one of the observations from the workshop was participants who attended were ready to publish. They were working on manuscripts. The workshop was perfectly timed for them, meaning we did not reach most of our faculty because our workshop was not relevant to their immediate need. We were going to need to do a lot of workshops if we wanted to catch people when they were ready to publish, or we were going to need a point of need service. So, the workshop was turned into 2 interactive self-learning modules that are embedded into a LibGuide. The first is finding the right journal, and the second is evaluating a journal. They include 2 worksheets that allow participants to jot down their thoughts and track their evaluation. The goal is to help authors find the right journal for their manuscript all on their own. The guide is available anytime, anywhere, on any device, providing that point of need service. And if you remember the movie Field of Dreams, they kept saying, if you build it, they will come. Though I wish this applied to our LibGuides, that is not the case. So we have begun promoting the modules. We did that at first by giving quick elevator speeches at department meetings, and we're following that up with a 5-minute topic talk on Is Open Access Right for You and Your Audience, which concludes with a call to action to use the LibGuide to find the right journal. We wanted to keep the lines of communication open between our users and ourselves. So to keep the conversation going, we included a 2-question LibGuide survey to get feedback on the self-learning module. And I'm happy to report that one person did fill out our survey, letting us know the information was helpful. I hope I've given you some things to think about and that you will continue the conversation at your own institutions. I believe that right now is the right time to change the conversation to finding the right journal. And if you want to continue the conversation with Shilu and I, please feel free to contact us at our emails listed on the slide. Thank you.